Molly.
And also me, Quincy from AllEars.
And we are here at Hollywood Studios where we just filmed a very, very long Genie Plus video.
Very long video. So long that we didn't film the intro this morning.
That's right. So we thought we'd be doing this intro during the daytime, and
it is now night.
It is clearly the night.
So
that means this video's over. We're coming to you from the future.
Yep. But we are here in Disney's Hollywood Studios today where we filmed a Genie Plus experiment. Molly had Genie Plus. I did not.
And we saw who waited in line for longer.
Yep.
I bet you can guess already. Spoiler alert, it was Quincy.
It was me. I was me.
Yes. But throughout this video, we are going to share a lot of tips and tricks on how to best navigate this park, which is easily the most complicated park in Walt Disney World.
Absolutely.
Daydream Back to the Future effects. Chestnut praline.
Hot.
Half sweet.
Soy milk.
Okay.
It's my Christmas order.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. I'm going fast. All right, so while Molly gets to go and have a nice slow morning and get coffee, I am heading as quick as my little legs will carry me towards Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
I don't have a Genie Plus for another 40 minutes, so I am on Christmas coffee duty. As I wait in line for coffee, let's go over Disney Genie real quick and a 101 refresher. So Disney Genie is the new AI addition to the My Disney Experience app that rolled out a couple of months ago. There are 3 services within Disney Genie. There's free Disney Genie, Freeney as some of us call it, which is the tip board that allows you to see the wait times throughout the park. It also has customizable itineraries and predictive wait times. There is Genie Plus, which essentially replaced Fast Pass Plus. It's similar to Max Pass was at Disneyland. It's $15 per person per day, and it works at over 40 attractions around Walt Disney World. You can use each attraction once, and only once, but you can use as many attractions as you'd like. When I say use attractions, I mean you'll be visiting the Lightning Lane, which is the physical expedited lane, meaning you can skip the line. The Lightning Lane is simply just the place at the attraction that replaced the Fast Pass line. And last but certainly not least, you've got Fancy Rides, TM as I call them, or as Disney calls them, individual Lightning Lane a la carte paid selections. This is another type of pass that you have to pay for to skip the attraction and have access to the Lightning Lane. These attractions are not included in Genie Plus. They are a per person, per ride additional cost. They're typically the best attractions in each park, and each person can book up to 2 per day.
So as you can see on my tip board here, a lot of the attractions are up high already because of early entry for theme park guests. They get into the park 30 minutes prior to opening. We are not staying in a resort today, so we did have to wait until right at 9 to get let into the park. But just check wait times if you aren't staying at a resort. You probably are going to have long lines already at Slinky Dog Dash, long lines at Rise, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is listed as only a 20-minute wait, so that line, if we look at the predictive wait times, does start low and then as of 10 a.m. gets high and stays high for the whole day. So that's why it's a good idea to maybe consider starting your day over here. People don't tend to rope drop it because there are more exciting lines to rope drop. But it's a good place to start your day because that line will get long and stay long.
I'm the Genie Plus person today, so I don't have a Genie Plus reservation until 9:45. So I actually get a few minutes to enjoy a coffee on Sunset. As a reminder with Genie Plus, you can book your first attraction at 7 a.m. Anybody can, resort or non-resort guests. For Genie Plus, you can book your first one at 7 a.m. And for this park in particular, I highly recommend getting up and early, being right on time, and booking Slinky Dog Dash. That is the hardest Genie Plus to get in this park. It will be gone for the whole day. So I clicked it right at 9 a.m. By the time it populated, it was for 9:45 to 10:45 a.m. for Slinky Dog Dash. So that's my first attraction I will be hitting this morning, and it's a good one to prioritize when you are walking into the park. I would prioritize Slinky or Smugglers on Genie Plus at 7 a.m. because those are the 2 hardest ones to get, Slinky Dog being number 1.
Now the Rise of the Resistance line is already pretty long. There are folks wrapping up around near the Muppets queue. They don't have the Muppets queue open yet, and the line isn't routed over here, which I have seen before, so it's not the wildest line I've seen for Rise, but it is certainly above an hour as of 8 minutes within park opening.
We'll get into the 120-minute rule in a little bit. play with Slinky, so put a pin in that for now. Now, what I would recommend, I would always recommend rope dropping this park, regardless if you're a resort guest or not, regardless if you're buying Genie Plus or not, because there are a lot of big, heavy hitter attractions. Here is my dream plan for you if you are a Disney resort guest. Get up nice and early. Now, resort guests can buy their fancy rides at 7 a.m. If you plan to purchase Rise, buy it right at 7 a.m. Book your Slinky Dog, then buy your Rise, because it will go, and it will go quick. It sold out this morning before 7:10 for the entire day. So if you're thinking about buying Rise, you better commit at 7 or 9. So if you're gonna buy Rise, then what I would recommend is getting here nice and early for that early park entry. Resort guests can get in half an hour early.
I'm walking briskly to the Millennium Falcon, where there is a 25-minute wait. Something tells you this is gonna be one of the lower waits possible all day. And we caught it, folks. We caught it.
I would be at the gates between 7:30 and 8, maybe even on the earlier side of that. They'll let you in a little before 8:30, and I would hit Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is a fancy ride that you probably don't want to pay for, but you do want to enjoy, so I would take advantage of the opening early to ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. If you do not want to pay for Rise, then I would take advantage of that early time to go wait in the line for Rise, because it opens when the park does. Rise gets a very long line. It's about 9:20 right now. It already has a 90-minute posted wait. So that is my itinerary for you if you are a resort guest. I would prioritize Mickey and Minnie's and Rise, since you can get in a little bit early. Now, if you're not a resort guest, you probably will not get the chance to buy Rise. It was sold out before 9 a.m. this morning. Non-resort guests can book their fancy rides at the time the park opens. I looked right at 9 a.m. today, and I was not even offered the chance to buy Rise. It was already sold out. So
I'm not sure I've ever waited in a Millennium Falcon line that is this short and also moves this quickly. I'm still outside, but we're pretty much just strolling through the queue at this point. I wonder if it will actually be 25 minutes.
You want to get here as early as possible. I would say an hour before the park opens, and I would still head to Rise. It's going to have a long line no matter what time you go. It's best to do it first thing in the morning or last thing at night, but it has a lot of technical issues, and it may break by the time you get to ride it at night. So it's kind of a coin toss. If you want to have a little more of a guarantee, go early. But it should drop hopefully in the late evening as well.
You guys know that song by The Rock that's like, it's about drive, it's about power. That's me today, and Molly is like just like a happy-go-lucky song over there being all leisure with her coffee.
If you don't want to do Rise first thing, if that 90-minute wait is not looking appealing to you, Quincy made a good call in going to Smugglers first. That one will get a very long line later, especially if you're not buying Genie Plus. Smugglers is a good move to go to first. But I would not go to Slinky, because all the resort guests can go to Slinky. So I'd wait to go to Slinky later in the day, or book it as a Genie Plus.
Cool animatronic alert.
Hello, my friends. I am Hondo Onaka, and this is Onaka Transport Solutions. Today, I am offering the opportunity of a lifetime.
It's time for me to head over to Slinky Dog Dash now, but wanted to give a wait time update already. It's 9:40 a.m. It's definitely a busy day. And Mickey and Minnie's already has a 50-minute wait. Smuggler's Run is up to 40. Rock and Roller Coaster and Slinky Dog both have 60-minute waits. Rise of the Resistance has a 105-minute wait. Tower of Terror has a 60-minute wait. So not even an hour of the park officially being open, and all of the heavy hitters except for one have around an hour wait. So really going to be putting this baby to the test today. Some of you may be wondering what we're going to do about Rise of the Resistance, since I was unable to acquire a Lightning Lane pass. I'm going to keep checking throughout the day on the very off chance that it pops up. There maybe will be a miracle, but I highly doubt that.
Smuggler's Run here is at 50 minutes. You can see the line is all the way outside now around the Millennium Falcon. This is typically, it'll shoot up to be about this long and stay that long. Now in general, Galaxy's Edge is pretty busy right now. So I could head over to Rise of the Resistance if I wanted to stay in the same area. But something to keep in mind about Hollywood Studios is it's not a large park. It's pretty easy to crisscross around. And with so many popular rides, you're probably going to want to crisscross around to make the most of your day. But luckily, it's not like you're walking across Epcot. Hollywood Studios is on the smaller side.
Also, as an update, Slinky Dog Dash is out of passes for the day. So that's definitely a top priority when you are booking. I would book Slinky Dog first, right at 7 a.m. It will pop up again. It will pop up throughout the day as guest flow is adjusted, or perhaps things are moving quicker than they seemed, or maybe people cancel. So it will pop up again. Don't lose hope if you don't see it, but it will go very quickly.
I'm Sheriff Woody, and we have an important rule in the backyard this time of year. Have a happy holiday season!
Thanks, Woody. I just love this whole land. We recently did an RTT about Toy Story Land, but the whole land is to be themed that you have been shrunk down to the size of a toy and you're in Andy's backyard. And the detail in this land is absolutely incredible. There's connects and Roblox and blocks and Andy's giant footprints on the ground. So many cool details to look for. And I just think this land is amazing, especially this time of year when it's actually a little cooler out. So the fact that there's literally no shade in this land isn't as much of a concern. Also, look at Toy Story Mania. 50-minute wait right now, 5-0. It's pretty lengthy. So that's when I would wait. That one will drop, or it should drop at least, on not super busy days. But today seems like it's gonna be a busy one. It's still Thanksgiving.
Looking at weights right now, Mickey and Minnie's is up at 55. Of course, Falcon's at 50, Rock and Roller Coaster's at 50, Slinky's at 70, and Star Wars is at 105. So, our Rise the Resistance is at 105. So something to keep in mind is that Slinky and Rise are gonna be my problem kids today. They are the rides that are going to take a long time for me to wait on them, no matter what time I go. If I would have rope dropped them, they would have been just as long as I'll wait a little later. Now, according to Genie, Slinky Dog does have a dip around 3 p.m. So we might try to time it so that's when we're riding. Rise, however, sees no dips. It's high now, it's gonna be high all day. But a little lower than it is now. So Rise will kind of come when we need to kill some time, I think. Otherwise, everything we're riding is already up high. 70 minutes for Tower, 50 minutes for Rock End. But I think we're gonna head over to Sunset Boulevard and try to get those before they get any higher. And maybe let a couple of these other ones calm down.
I'm about to go use my first lightning lane at Slinky Dog Dash, but first, you may have noticed I have 2 coffees here. I feel like a smuggler could be coming my way, and I just always want to be prepared and have an extra coffee treat in case one of my favorite smugglers shows up. You know, like Indiana Jones.
Stop right here at my favorite food and beverage location, Molly. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How was Smuggler's Ride?
It was good.
Great.
I shot too many bullets and I cost a lot of money.
Oopsies.
Ah, it happens.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that for me?
No, this is for my favorite smuggler, Indiana Jones.
I don't know if he's coming.
I was told to get an extra coffee for my favorite smuggler, so I assumed
I'm your favorite smuggler.
you.
I did meet
So
me.
Harrison Ford is not coming.
Harrison Ford is, as far as I know, Harrison Ford is not
Okay,
coming.
but if he shows up and I don't have a coffee for him, you
It's
have
my
to
fault.
explain
I'll
it to
take
him.
the fall
All right.
on that.
All right.
All right. Well, carry on with your leisurely morning.
Thank you. Enjoy your lines.
Gonna be honest with you, I don't think I just stole Harrison Ford's coffee. But if I did, I don't regret it. Because this is my favorite kind of Starbucks coffee. Harrison Ford and I must have similar tastes.
Woo, baby. Look at this line for Slinky Dog Dash. Let's see. My laser eyeballs think that says 70 minutes up there. Slinky Dog Dash is a family coaster here in Toy Story Land, as a 38-inch height requirement, and I think it's a lot of fun. It makes me laugh. It is a great time. It's got a little more bark than it looks like. I make that joke every single time. I will not apologize for it. But it gets an incredibly long line, so people tend to hate on it, and I don't blame them. If you wait an hour or more in the blazing hot sun of Toy Story Land, you know, it might not be worth it to you. So if you're gonna purchase Genie Plus, this is an excellent one to use it on. Again, it goes very quickly, so I recommend booking it first first thing right at 7. Otherwise, my favorite time to ride this attraction is at night, actually. This whole land looks incredible at night. Everything's lit up, so if you wait till the end of the night, it'll probably drop quite a bit. So I recommend either getting that Genie Plus, if you're a resort guest, getting here bright and early and possibly doing this during your early park entry after you do Mickey and Minnie's. If you're not buying Genie Plus, and then, of course, if you are buying Genie Plus, make sure you snag it.
We're headed down. We're gonna have to see the tip board again to see if Rockin' or Tower is the best bet. These two have similar line patterns, except that Rockin', I think, can spike a little bit higher depending on the day. So we might be going to Rockin' to start and then Tower. Tower does tend to get long in the morning and then stay long. It's also a good one to rope drop if you're not that interested in Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. You can rope drop Tower and Rockin' Roller Coaster and probably get on both of them before the lines get too long. Just like I thought, Rockin' is at 40 and Tower of Terror is at 45, so they're just about the same right now. I'm gonna ride Rockin' first. I have a feeling that'll spike up a little higher, a little faster, and then hopefully we'll still get not too crazy of a line on Tower. Also, Smuggler's Run, 65 minutes, so that was a good move. Like yesterday.
So there is a second touch point here at Slinky Dog Dash. Most attractions have 2 touch points, but one of the best ways to maximize using this system is to always have a Genie Plus attraction. So as soon as you tap in for your second time, make sure and book another one. That way you're maximizing your purchase. The way Genie Plus works is with Genie Plus, not fancy rides, with regular Genie Plus, you are booking the next available time for that attraction. So you don't get to go in and select what time you'd like. It's just whatever next available. So I'm gonna book Smuggler's Run next. That is the second most popular Genie Plus attraction in this park. And times are already looking out pretty far. So I wanna go ahead and snag that one before it's gone for the day.
Posted 40-minute wait.
My next party hang tight.
All right, so it looks like 7:20 for Smuggler's Run.
Did we have
Just one.
Just one to the right for me.
Thank you. I'm gonna do what I call fiddle faddling. Oh my gosh, I can book one for 10:40. That is so soon. Oh, that's my Grinch laugh. Anyway, let's talk about fiddle faddling since that's what we just did. Fiddle faddling is a word I started saying when talking about FastPass Plus, and it simply means to just refresh the screen enough times so that new options pop up. So, like I said, Genie Plus is based on first available. So it'll show you when you first pull the tip board up what the next available is. Sometimes if you refresh it a few times, new things will pop up, whether that means somebody canceled or maybe they're moving quickly over at Smuggler's Run. Either way, new times will pop up and sometimes an earlier time will pop up. So I was able to snag a very, very soon Smuggler's Run. So I recommend when you're using the system, anytime you're about to book something, if you're not in love with the next time available for the attraction you want, go ahead and refresh it a few times, see what happens. And yes, you can do this with multiple people. I have added multiple people to my account before and refreshed it and been able to do it as well. We'll do that in a little bit as well. After I get off the attraction, we'll look at what it looks like with a few people linked up. But you can do it with multiple people, and it's a little tactic that'll help you maximize it. But that's exciting. I thought we'd have to wait a long time for Smugglers.
Something to keep in mind is that Rockin' Roller Coaster and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run do have single rider lines. Those lines do tend to be a little bit shorter. They don't move very fast because you have to wait for a party to come through that has an odd number. But they do have single rider lines as an option. I am not using them today because science. If I use the single rider's line, it wouldn't tell you how long you're saving buying Genie Plus, would it? Well, it might a little bit, but not as much.
Slinky Dog Dash done, checked it off the list, waited 5 minutes in the lightning lane, and it's supposed to be 75 minutes. So this is, we'll see how long Quincy waits, but this is one that has a long line and usually stays with a long line until the late afternoon. I really enjoy Slinky Dog. I think it's a lot of fun. I know my nephews loved this one. A bunch of the kids getting off the ride just now were laughing and giggling. So I think this is a really fun attraction, but it's not really fun to wait in a long line. But we are off to Smuggler's Run now. I do have about 30 minutes until my Smuggler's Run lightning lane. So I'm going to do what I would advise you to do, which is explore and enjoy Galaxy's Edge. I'm actually headed to get a snack because throughout my time today, I'm simultaneously shooting a few videos today. And one of those videos is going to feature Kat Saka's Outpost Mix, which is one of my favorite snacks. So I'm going to go get that and eat it for another video you'll have to watch to kill my 30 minutes. Look at this beautiful, bountiful treasure.
Hey, wait a minute. We can't leave these people here like this.
We can't?
No.
The line for Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is up to a 75-minute wait, and it looks like it'll actually be that long. It wraps around the ship itself, and this is a very, very long and windy line, and it can get very hot during the summer too, so this is not one I love waiting in. But it is time to use my lightning lane, and I think Quincy made the right call coming here first thing in the morning, because this will get very long and stay very long for a lot of the day. So, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run has a 38-inch height requirement, and it is that attraction that allows you, hello! Thank you! It allows you to jump into the cockpit of the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy, the Millennium Falcon itself. You will be assigned one of 3 positions, pilot, gunner, or engineer. It is universally agreed upon, pretty much, that the pilot is the best position, and you can request it. Just ask nicely when you get to that part of the attraction. But look at this line. Look at this line we're bypassing.
Shut her down. Run the diagnostics.
Now, you do miss some of the cool part of the queue by going in through the lightning lane. You don't miss Hondo, though. That's the good news. Hondo's the coolest part of this attraction, in my opinion, besides actually stepping foot on the ship. You won't bypass that, but you do bypass some of the queue. Not a big deal, in my opinion. However, if you do choose to do single rider, which is available at this attraction, you will miss Hondo. I don't recommend single rider on this attraction because what makes this attraction fun is the fact that you can do it with your friends and family, and you get to laugh at your uncle who's bad at piloting the ship and cheer on your nephew who's the gunner. This attraction to me is not that fun when you're by yourself, and as a single rider, they split you up and they just put you in with other parties. You're also almost guaranteed to be the engineer as the single rider, which is universally decided upon as the worst of the positions. So that's why I recommend getting here early or booking this one on Genie Plus so you can ride it with your friends and family, at least for your first time. Hello? Sure.
Now. Whew! The ride is so fun. That 0 to 60 will wake you up like nobody's business. But now we're headed to Rock and Roller Coaster. Just a heads up, that line was posted 40 minutes. I only waited 21 actually, so it was a good move to come over here. I will note that Rockin' had a delayed opening this morning, so they might have exaggerated that wait time a little bit. Typically when I ride it, it's a little bit closer to posted, but it might be a lot less, so just something to keep in mind. Let's see how Tower stacks up.
Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run check. I waited about 30 seconds to get into the pre-show, which is where Disney stops the clock in the lightning lane, and again, it already is a very long line, so a good one to use that lightning lane on. Book this one early. My recommendation again would be to walk into the park with Slinky and hopefully an early Slinky, and then book this one right after. So I like Smuggler's Run just fine. I think it's most fun when you are in a party of 6 with your whole family or a group of friends laughing and having a good time at how bad you are at piloting the ship. I also think it's a must-do if you're a diehard Star Wars fan, because just simply stepping foot onto the Millennium Falcon is an incredible experience. So we have done that one, and as soon as I tapped in, I was able to fiddle for a pretty soon Tower of Terror. So we're headed to Sunset. But before we go to Sunset, there's one very important thing I have to do. Had to give him a Baby Yoda picture. So one of the perks of getting Genie Plus is not just the lightning lens. You actually get access to these cool photo lenses that you can use around Walt Disney World within the app. So there's one that will turn the castle into the into the 25th pink birthday cake castle. There is one you can do at Epcot where it'll put Remy in your hat. There are ones that will turn you into villains, and there's a newer one that will allow you to hang out with Baby Yoda, but you have to be in Galaxy's Edge to take that picture. So that $15 a day does get you more than skipping the lines. It also gets you cool filters. Speaking of the $15 a day, let's remind everyone that you can book it in advance for the whole length of your ticket, or you can book it day of for just one day. If you decide to book it for just one day, which is usually how I recommend it, I don't think you're going to need Genie Plus at parks like Animal Kingdom or Epcot during normal seasons, but I would recommend it for your Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom days. I would recommend buying it day of, and you can buy it starting at midnight the day of. I'm not saying you have to wait up till midnight to buy it, but make sure you have it bought and set up before 7 a.m. because right at 7 a.m. you need to be booking that first Lightning Lane return.
All right, so Tower is up at 55 minutes, which is pretty long for Tower. And you can see that the line does come all the way out here, so it probably is around 55 minutes. But we do have to wait for these longer ones to hopefully drop a little, or just deal with them a little later. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop on Tower, and then we'll deal with Slinky, Rise of the Resistance, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway afterwards. Especially because I think I'm gonna eat lunch in the Rise line. Gotta keep moving.
We are headed out of Galaxy's Edge now over to Sunset Boulevard. I know that's across the park, but this park isn't that big, and when you see a lightning lane pop up for a good attraction that you're headed to, I recommend snagging it. So I was seeing lightning lanes for Tower and Coaster, which are the next big ones I have to book, for around 1 o'clock, which isn't too far out, but I refreshed a few times and was able to get one to pop up for 11:15. So always fiddle faddle for a few minutes and see what happens.
They are using a good amount of the extended queue for Tower of Terror. If you are going to be around later in the day and you don't have the time to kill waiting for Tower, like I do right now, then you might want to wait. Tower can drop towards the end of the day, especially like in the evening around dinner time. So it can drop, might still be 30, 40 minutes, but it probably won't be 50 to an hour. So just something to keep in mind. I, of course, have the other options of going to the very long Slinky Dog Dash, Rise of the Resistance, or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, so this is definitely our first stop.
We love a Christmas sunset. They do this really cool projection show on the Tower of Terror at night this time of year. It's in my Best of the Holidays video, but they project different scenes featuring the Muppets and Toy Story characters and Mickey and Minnie and the Frozen, and it's really, really cute. So we love a Christmas sunset. And headed over to Tower of Terror, posted 45-minute wait right now. As I was walking over, I did a little experiment on my phone, because a lot of people say, hey Molly, because you're one person, is it more easy for you to navigate this app? Are you getting better return times? And I say to them, I am not. This app is first available just like old paper Fast Pass was. So when you walked up to the machine, if you had 2 tickets in your party and you had 8 tickets in the next party, you all got at the same time or within 5 minutes at the same time because it just distributed what was first available. That's how this app works as well. It's just showing you the next available time. And so it doesn't matter if you've got 1, 2, 10, 5. If you've got you can play with up to 12 people, so it doesn't matter. And then some people say, well, what about when you fiddle faddle and you refresh? That's got to change it. So I think it could a little bit, but I just did a little fake experiment. I added 3 of my friends that I'm linked to, and I fiddle faddled a little bit. I was seeing the same times for the different attractions as when I first opened. I was seeing, far out for Toy Story Mania and Rock and Roller Coaster. I was seeing around 2 hours out for Tower of Terror. I was seeing none when it was just me for Smuggler's Run, but then I added 3 other people. I started seeing Smuggler's Run again. I was able to fiddle, faddle, and pull Smuggler's Run again. I was able to pull a closer Tower of Terror. So based on my experience, even if you have multiple people, you can fiddle faddle. And this system's actually a lot more fair than old Fast Pass Plus was. Not only does it reset every day, so everybody has the same chance of getting everything the same day, but it's more fair to different group sizes. Now, another question we get a lot with these, with Genie Plus is, can you book it for some people and not other people? If someone in your family isn't tall enough or doesn't like a particular attraction, yeah, you can customize who has what attraction. Not everyone has to have each attraction. You can add people to your group if they change their mind. It's very flexible that way. 60 minutes. Tower of Terror has a 40-inch height requirement. It's definitely a fan favorite here at Hollywood Studios. It's that drop elevator attraction that takes you inside the Hollywood Tower Hotel, where something spooky happened on Halloween night, 1939. Just moving and grooving. Moving and grooving our way to the lobby. Haven't stopped yet.
Status update, I've been in line for 21 minutes and I'm headed around a turnstile over here to head inside.
Tower of Terror, a fan favorite. Walked right into the next elevator, so no wait on that one for me. A+ attraction, a must do. Now, if you want to ride that with not a super long line, again, the afternoons, the evenings is always a great time, or you could consider rope dropping this way if you're not purchasing Genie Plus, but I do think the Smuggler's play was a really good one that Quincy did. So I would do Smuggler's then come to Sunset, I think. I used to say the other way, but Smuggler's will get long and stay long, whereas these attractions will be a little bit varied throughout the day. Things change with Genie Plus, you know? And so the only attractions that I have left that I don't have anything booked for are Rise the Resistance, which it looks like I'm not going to get to do today because there's no more lightning lanes and none have popped up. Theoretically, I've talked to cast, they could release more inventory throughout the day, but I've never seen it happen and neither have they. But theoretically it could. I have a Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway for a little bit from now. I booked that when I could ride at 9 a.m. And then I just fiddle-faddled for a sooner Rock and Roller Coaster. Rock and Roller Coaster, when I got off Tower of Terror, was showing times around 3:30 to 4:30, but I kept refreshing and was able to finally book one a little bit sooner at 1:50. It was 11:35 when I did that, and therefore I triggered the dreaded 120-minute rule. Let's go over the 120-minute rule, shall we? And then we'll talk about what I'm going to do while I have 120 minutes to spare. The easiest way to explain the 120-minute rule is this. You are able to book your next Genie Plus Lightning Lane when either A, you have tapped in to your first attraction, your attraction window closes, meaning you missed that attraction altogether, you didn't go for some reason, so that attraction window closed, or C, when it has been 120 minutes since you booked the first attraction. Now this is the key part, whichever of those things comes first. So, in the example I'm giving you right now, it was 11:35 when I booked Rock and Roller Coaster for 1:50. So, when I tap in at 1:50, I could book a new one. If I miss it completely, that would be 2:50. Or, 2 hours from when I booked it would be 1:35. 1:35 is obviously the earliest of those times, so therefore that's when I can book another one. Now there has been a change to this policy. Disney closed a loophole that a lot of people had figured out. Previously, if you booked 2, so if you waited your 120-minute, we call it a cooldown period, and then booked a second one, you could keep booking 2 all day long. You essentially had opened up 2 tracks, as I called them, and you could keep booking things over and over again, essentially having 2 throughout the rest of the day. Disney figured out that people figured out they were doing this, which is not really fair, that some people are getting double the lightning lane access while other people have paid for the system and they weren't able to get anything. So that loophole is now closed. You can still book 2 on the 120-minute rule. You can still stack if you have enough 120-minute windows to spare, but you cannot keep booking 2 once you've used the further out one, if that makes sense. I know it's incredibly confusing. We have a post on AllEars breaking it all down, but that's that. I also want to highlight one weird thing about the 120-minute rule. When at 7 a.m., if you book something that's far out, your 120 minutes is not up at 9. It's up 2 hours after the park opens. So the clock doesn't actually start till the park opens. So at 7 a.m., if you go to book Slinky Dog and you don't get a Slinky Dog until noon, then you can book another one at 11 since the park opened at 9. So hopefully that made sense.
All right, 30 minutes, not too bad for Tower. There's nobody in the gift shop right now. So not too shabby, not too shabby. Ooh, I know I had coffee already. What if I got another? I cannot because I gotta go. Got lines to wait in. Slinky Dog Dash is temporarily closed right now. That's one of the 3 more rides that I need to ride. Our other things, Mickey and Minnie's is an hour 15, and Rise of Resistance is just under 2 hours. So I think the plan right now is that we are going to walk over towards Rise of the Resistance, grab a Ronto wrap for lunch, and then I can eat that in line at Rise of the Resistance. So that's where I'm headed. However, I'm gonna take this scenic route. I'm gonna go back through Toy Story Land because if Slinky Dog Dash happens to open up at the right time when I'm over there, we could end up with a really short wait on that. So we're gonna, fingers crossed, maybe we can catch that.
So the question of what am I going to do now? I've got 2 hours to kill. I'm going to do what we would advise any of you to do. I joined the walk-up list at 50's Primetime Cafe because I actually have to shoot a video there. I was banking on having some time today to be able to go eat there, so I'm going to go eat at 50's Primetime. I also am working on a couple of other videos. I already mentioned I was working on a snack video. I'm working on a couple of attraction videos, so I'm going to go do stuff without a lightning lane for a little bit. See a couple of the shows, do a couple of the underrated attractions, the filler stuff that we always recommend you do when you're using this new system. Use the Genie Plus for your big attractions, your Tower of Terror, your Rock and Roller Coaster, your Slinky Dogs. And then in between times, if you've got some time, go see the Frozen show. Go enjoy Beauty and the Beast. Indiana Jones is coming back soon. Go enjoy that. Go get a snack. Go eat. Plan your meals about when you think you'll have some cool down time. I think it's safe to plan a mid-morning meal. You'll probably throw a cool down in that time. So that's what we're doing now. I just can't use any more lightning lanes because 1, I have one booked, and 2, that's the rules of this video. But let's start by saying hi to Max and Goofy.
So Slinky is closed right now. They are running a test on it, it looks like. And here's the thing. I still don't think I'm gonna hop in line because it looks like a lot of people are holding out hope that it will reopen soon. This is the end of the line right here. So again, I think Slinky, regardless, is going to be a long line. And I'd prefer not to spend part of that with a variable of will it even open. So instead, I am going to go ahead and grab my lunch. I'm going to grab a Zuki wrap from Monster Roasters. It's the plant-based option. I've never had it, and I've heard it's really good from both Molly and Breedlove. So I'm excited to try it. I love zucchini. And I am going to go pick that up and then go ahead and spend some quality time with myself in the Rise line for about 2 hours.
I filmed a whole bit with Max and Goofy, but I did it wrong. It was filming the ground, so now I'm sad.
So I did mobile order my Ronto wrap while I was in line for Tower of Terror. I picked a window for leading up to 11:35 because I figured I could make it over there about around that time. And sure enough, I'm almost over there. It's just the perfect time. So all I have to do is tap I'm here, prepare my order. All done through the My Disney Experience app. And then they'll go ahead and get my Ronto wrap ready. Well, it's a Zuki wrap, but they'll get it ready. And then I'll be able to take it over to the Rise line. You can eat and drink in lines up to a certain point. Just listen to cast members, they'll tell you when you need to throw it away. In many cases, you'll need to throw things away by the time you get inside because you have to toss that mask on. So just listen to cast members, but I'm gonna have lunch on the go, because it is about drive and it is about power. And I feel hungry and I devour. Alright, lunch on the go acquired. Taking my Zuki raft to the Rise line. Ooh, possibly the longest wait I will have waited. Again, you're gonna see Rise at or above or around 2 hours for pretty much the whole day. It's 1:35 right now. This is probably the most popular ride in Disney World. It does just use a standby wait, and then it is a fancy ride, so you can pay extra. But the thing is, that thing sells out. Molly might not even get a chance to ride on this today, so I'm gonna go hop in line, eat my Ronto wrap, maybe take a nap standing. We'll see. So I'm right here, 23 minutes in. I am listening to a podcast.
If you try really, really hard and look really, really close, you can actually see Quincy.
The wait is a little shorter now. It's still posted around 2 hours, but you can see it doesn't wrap all the way back here anymore. I waited 2 hours and 17 minutes, so that posted wait was pretty much smack right on the money. That's a long time to wait for anything. And keep in mind that Rise of the Resistance does tend to drop later in the day. So if you are around in Hollywood Studios all day, you're not park hopping, you might have a good chance of riding Rise of the Resistance later. So I think if you are staying in a resort, if you do have the opportunity to pick up the Lightning Lane, this one might be the one that is most worth the Lightning Lane in all of Disney World, just because that wait does stay around 2 hours. When it drops to 90 minutes, which is still a long time. And yeah, it's an amazing ride, it's worth it, but you're paying a lot of money to be here, so it kind of depends on whether or not you can stomach waiting that long. Okay, I've arrived here at Tune In Lounge, where I see Molly. Hello?
Hello?
You summoned me?
I have a present for you.
Oh, water?
No, it's a milkshake.
Oh,
A peanut butter and jelly
even
milkshake.
Better.
That's
the best kind.
I got one for my 50s review, and I only drank like half of it because their milkshakes are gigantic.
Huge, yeah.
And so he said, "Do you want a to-go cup?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I thought maybe you could enjoy it.
I'll have to take my dairy pill.
I know, but you brought one. You told me.
I did. In the car this morning.
Please.
I am thankful for this.
Please enjoy that in your next long line.
They're all long from now on.
Finally, time to head back down Sunset Boulevard to use that rock and roller coaster pass we booked a while ago. So to recap, during that 120-minute cool down, as we call it, or downtime, we were able to do Muppet Vision 3D, the Frozen sing-along, and I was able to eat at 50s for another video we're doing. So you could definitely maximize your cooldown times when you have them. Plan accordingly. You're probably going to get one mid-morning at this park, so maybe book a lunch reservation around then. You can also do attractions like shows that don't necessarily need a lightning lane on most days. Muppet Vision, Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, Indiana Jones. You can also get a snack, get something to eat, go enjoy some characters or watch some cavalcades. You can definitely make use of that. 2 hours. Now, as a pro tip, I recommend setting an alarm for when your 2 hours is done. If you ever want to know when that is, try and book another Genie Plus and it'll say you're ineligible till this time. That's your 2 hour cooldown end time. Set an alarm for a minute or so before that, so that way as soon as you can, you're able to book another one. I booked one for Alien Swirling Saucers, which is not on our list today, and I need to write it for a different video, so I went ahead and booked that. So now I technically have 2 Rock and Roller Coaster and Alien Swirling Saucers.
All right, now that Molly has so graciously provided me provisions, delicious PB&J milkshake provisions, I guess I can go hop in my next line. We've got either Slinky Dog or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I think I'm gonna hop in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway because Slinky Dog is supposed to drop around 3 and that wait's a little longer. So I think this will save us more time. We'll have to find out.
Rock and Roller Coaster, baby! It's time to rock and roll. Rock and Roller Coaster is definitely one of my favorites. It is my personal favorite over Tower of Terror, just because while the theming is better at Tower, I prefer a coaster to a drop. It has a 48-inch height requirement, which is pretty tall for Walt Disney World, and it's incredibly popular. You can see that by this 65-minute wait. So I think Quincy did a good job coming here in the morning. Otherwise, I would recommend waiting till a little bit later, or using single rider if you're not going to use Genie Plus. Again, single rider splits you up and you just fill in with odd-numbered parties, but do you really need to sit next to your family on a 90-second roller coaster? You tell me. And just so you know, by going in single rider, you don't miss out on anything. Unlike at Smuggler's Run, where you miss out on the cool pre-show, you still get to see Aerosmith even if you do the single rider line here. So definitely a great option if you want to go on this one more than once, or it has a really long line and you don't want to wait in it, or you don't want to use Genie Plus, obviously.
All right, change of plans. I was walking up to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and I looked, and it turns out it's 2:47, which time isn't real when you're in line for Rise of the Resistance. So Slinky Dog is projected to drop during the 3 p.m. hour. So I think that we're going to slowly make our way over there because Mickey and Minnie's drops the 4 p.m. So I think that this is our better move, is to do Slinky and then Mickey and Minnie's according to the predictive wait times. So let's find out.
Look! It's me on the sign. It's my concert tonight. Can you believe it? I want a moment to be real. Want to touch things I can feel and feel I'm alive.
All right, I am in a posted 80-minute line. I knew this ride and rise were going to be my downfall today. It's certainly... I have a hard time in this one because the wait's all outside in the sun. Just not my jam. And it's a cute coaster, but is it worth 80 minutes in the sun? Not for me, friends. Not for me.
Rock and Roller Coaster done. Check. One of my all-time faves. I love that 0 to 60 in 2.8 second launch. It's not a very long attraction, but it is a lot of fun and a must-do in my opinion. I waited 1 minute to go from the Lightning Lane into the pre-show to see Steven Tyler, and it was awesome. So now I'm just waiting on my Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway pass, which I booked earlier. I'm still looking for Rise, which I don't think I'm gonna get today. I think once it's gone as far as Rise goes. And then just checking in with Quincy. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is the other fancy ride here in this park, and it is a family attraction, no height requirement. The whole family can enjoy this. It replaced the Great Movie Ride, which a lot of people were not happy about, but I think it's a super cute and fun family ride. There's a lot of incredible effects, the projection mapping's amazing, and there's a lot of thrill in an attraction that everyone can enjoy. It uses that trackless technology, it stars Mickey and Minnie. It's actually the first ride to star Mickey and Minnie ever. Isn't that crazy that it took until 2020 for that to happen? So I paid $8 for this one today, which, that adds up quick if you have a lot of people in the family. So this is one I don't think you need to buy the fancy ride pass. It is very popular. Again, it's a busy day. That's currently a 65-minute wait, but this is one that's pretty low in the mornings and will drop pretty considerably the more the day goes on. But we are headed to the Lightning Lane, which I booked at 9 a.m. this morning. For the record, it already sold out about an hour or so ago. So you don't have to be as trigger happy as you do with Rise to book this one. Rise, you need to book within the first few minutes of it turning 7 o'clock. You have a few hours on this one usually, but it will sell out, especially on busy days. One thing I want to remind you of when it comes to booking the fancy rides, while you do get to select from what times are available, once you've purchased it, you cannot make any modifications. You can't go in and change the time. Think of it like a movie ticket. If you buy an 8 p.m. movie, you're seeing the 8 p.m. movie. So you can't cancel it, you can't modify it. So be very sure before you buy it, or very sure of the time you're booking, that you're going to be able to ride during that time. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, check. What a cute attraction. I love that one. Up to a 75-minute wait. I know Quincy hasn't done it yet, so we'll see how long it takes her, but that one is really fun. I could see why you want to spend money on it to avoid that long line, but I think you can avoid a super long line if you, again, rope drop it or go later in the day. So we are done with our list. Besides Rise, of course, I've checked 10 bajillion times today, and Rise never came back. I don't really predict it ever will, especially with the technical issues that ride has, at least not for now. So what I'm gonna do is go get in standby. It's a time of the day when there's not a lot of Genie Plus attractions left, which means you still need to prioritize getting here early and getting the good, quote, rides early. So all the ones we did today. And then now they're still easily available for all the shows and attractions like Star Tours. If you fiddle faddle enough though, other things will pop back up. I was able to pull Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror up again, but for the most part, it looks like they're gone for the day, but it may not be true. And again, it's about 4:40 right now.
All right, so after a 110-minute wait, an hour and 50 minutes from a posted 80. See, that's interesting, because now it says a posted 80, but from here, when I waited from all the way down there, I don't know if maybe they weren't running the normal number of trains, because Slinky Dog did go down earlier today. So I don't know if that was maybe the case, because that was a really, really long wait. So I feel like something maybe was miscalculated. But it's a fun roller coaster. I laughed the whole time like a little kid. It was so much fun. Do I think it was worth an hour and 50 minutes? No. Now, I didn't really like Rise was barely worth 2 hours and 17 minutes. But I would say it is if it's your first time riding it. Except for the fact that if you wait a little later in the day, you'll be able to get on it a little faster, and that's probably the best move. I don't think Slinky Dog is ever worth that long. It's a fun ride. It's a cute roller coaster. It's a lot more thrilling than you expect, but I just don't think it is ever, ever, ever worth more than an hour wait. And unfortunately, it is always at more than an hour wait, pretty much. Unless you happen to be an early theme park entry guest or ride it right before park close. That's why I don't ride it that often. Not my thing to wait that long for that. Very fun, but underwhelming compared to the wait coaster.
All right, so none of this extended queue is full, which is hopefully a good sign. Again, it has a posted 85-minute wait right now, which is still a pretty long wait, but that's a lot less than what Quincy waited earlier. And I'm going to clock it and see if that's correct. So this is definitely the hardest park to navigate right now, with or without Genie Plus. There are so many big, amazing headliner attractions here that get really long lines. So I still think the best plan of action with this park is to get here early, regardless of if you're going to do Genie Plus or not. And if you do choose to do Genie Plus, make sure you're being smart about the order that you're doing it in. Come into the park with Slinky if you can, go for Smugglers next, and then you'll work your way through those big attractions, because they will go throughout the day. And while you can get them to pop up again eventually, I just got Tower of Terror again, it's not guaranteed that they'll come back. All right, they say misery loves company, so let's clock the Rise queue.
All right, it's a posted 75-minute wait, so I am heading into the line right now.
Y'all, I'm talking to Finn right now. He's inside of a Star Destroyer. That's very stressful. I may have sent Finn to certain danger. He got cornered by a stormtrooper and they took his armor, and now he's in an interrogation. So. That attraction is simply the best. It is simply the best. But the best part of today was that it was a posted 85-minute wait, and I waited 65 minutes, which is like half as long as Quincy waited earlier today. So even though I couldn't get a lightning lane as a non-resort guest, I was still able to enjoy the best ride at Walt Disney World. I mean, that's a long time, but not for this ride, I would say. Hey, friend.
Hey.
How's your day?
It was the most important part of your day in Hollywood Studios, if you do not have Genie Plus and if you are not a park guest, is the first 2 hours. It is hands down the most important part of your day.
And my biggest takeaway, even using Genie Plus, is that you still need to get here early and you still need to prioritize the big attractions in this park, because they are going to go away. They are going to be gone around 4 or 5 o'clock. It's going to be hard to keep pulling some of those big key attractions. So I was able to use Lightning Lane on every single big attraction in the park except for Rise, and I was able to ride Rise with a much, much lower wait by waiting till the end of the day.
Yep.
So even though I had Genie Plus, I still had to be very strategic about what I was doing. I pulled Slinky early on purpose. I booked Smugglers Next early on purpose, and I kept pulling those big ones because those are going to go away. And then when I enacted that dreaded 120-minute rule, I had a plan for that too. I knew approximately when that would happen. I joined a dining reservation. I was able to get some other things done, which, as we've said before, with this new system, the best way to use it is to use it on the big demand rides and then fill in the rest of the time with shows, with eating, with snacks, with seeing a cavalcade or a character, and the things that you don't need Lightning Lane for.
I will say, I think that my day could have gone smoother if I took a break in the middle of the day and ate lunch, because that middle of the day spot, all of the lines are just out of this world.
Not considering Rise, I waited less than 20 minutes, or right around 20 minutes, for 5 of the biggest attractions in this park. So I agree, for me, as someone who does not like waiting in lines, as someone who wants to be able to come and do a bunch of the big attractions in one day, I think this is the park that you're going to need to use Genie Plus in the most. And it's unfortunate that it costs money. We don't like that it costs money either, and we know it adds up. It's just $15 for me, and I know that's times however many people are in your party. But if it were me coming, I would budget in Genie Plus for this park especially, because you're going to probably have a nicer day if you don't have to wait in a long line for Tower, Coaster, Slinkies, Smugglers, and et cetera and et cetera.
To be fair, did get through everything that I wanted to do, waiting in longer lines with still several hours, over an hour left to spare in the park. So you can do it.
But
you can do it.
I was also able to do a lot more enjoyable things. I was able to see Frozen. Long story short, in this park, this is a very complicated park. This is not a park you can just show up to and get on the biggest rides. This is definitely a park that you need to plan for.
Yeah.
So no matter what you do, Genie Plus or not, get here early, maximize the lower wait times in the early part of the day. If you're a resort guest, take advantage of that early park entry.
Absolutely in this park. Absolutely take advantage of that early park entry. Hope this was helpful. I spent 6 hours in line, so I really hope it was helpful.
I spent less than an hour and a half.
That sounds hard.
So, well, yeah.
Just how it goes.
When we do Animal Kingdom, I'm back to waiting. So let us know what other experiments we can do for you, whether they be Genie Plus, whether they be transportation. What questions do you have in Walt Disney World that you want answered? We will suffer for your benefit.
Every single time. It's our favorite activity, suffering for you. Just let us know in the comments what you want to see. You can like and subscribe to this video if you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Follow us on social media at AllEars.net.
And until next time, I'm Quincy.
I'm Molly.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye. To be fair, we suffered in Disney World, so it wasn't that
I mean,
much
it
of
was
suffering.
like, that's like the minimalist.
That's like. Want to see more of my videos? Click over here. Want to subscribe? You can do that right here. And also, ring that notification bell to make sure you get instantly notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for following. See you real soon.